Hello everyone, welcome to the Comic Game Movie Show. My name is Sean, and today I'm here to make a video that I've been debating making since the Oscars. Now, it's been pretty much apparent that Marvel, as always, had a rough time at the Oscars. Not that long ago, Black Panther did get nominated for Best Picture, but we all know that it got that nomination because the Oscars got embarrassed with that whole Oscar so white thing not that long ago. And Black Panther was such a huge phenomenon and such a huge deal that there was no way they could get around not at least nominating it. But we all knew that it wasn't going to win it. And Black Panther did win 2 or 3 Oscars, so well-deserved Oscars, I might add. But it got me thinking about this year's, just the Oscars that just happened this last weekend. This weekend, a couple days ago now. And it bugged me. And it became, and then I saw this fandom thing that was like, Avengers EndGame is the only film to ever hold the title of the biggest movie of all time to never win a single Oscar. There has never been, since the history of the cinema, a movie to make as much money as Avengers EndGame and not win anything. In fact, Avengers EndGame was only nominated for one thing. And at first, it didn't bother me. But then I just started to dwell on it a bit, like in the back of my mind, not the front of my mind, but in the back of my mind. And then I started to come to the conclusion that this is a bit ridiculous. Not one, not even for VFX, not even for effects, not for the score, costume, nothing. And then it started to dawn on me that, all these years that Marvel didn't get something, and I'm sitting there last year, or either last year or the year before when Infinity War came out, I thought for sure that Marvel was going to get one for visual effects with just Thanos alone. But it didn't. It didn't. And then when Doctor Strange was coming out, I thought for sure it would get an award for that. But it didn't. And then it just started to rattle through my head about just, to me, the question I'm going to ask to you guys, does Hollywood disrespect Marvel? Does Hollywood have something against Marvel? Now, we don't. They make money, they make good films, the critics like it, but Hollywood, I'm not sure. Because it's becoming apparent to me, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, this movie is this generation's Lord of the Rings. I'm sorry. Yes, all these people, old people, all the super hardcore Lord of the Rings people and all these other shit. Yes, we get it. You'll love your fucking Lord of the Rings trilogy. It happened forever ago. We got you. This is this generation's Lord of the Rings. There's never been a movie bigger than this. There's never been a movie more anticipated than this. This movie came out and the entire week stopped. The earth stood still. They were talking about this movie on NBC, Fox, CBS. They were talking about this shit on national television. There was news people talking about this movie, man. Theaters were sold out. You couldn't get a seat. You couldn't go anywhere. Everyone wanted to know what happened in this movie. And it came out with praise. A+ cinema score. What other 3-hour movie have an A+ cinema score? This damn thing was a roller coaster. No movie's ever made $300 million. This movie made $350. Hell, it made more than $350. I think it made $355. It's one of the highest rated comic book movies of all time. Literally, it's insane how they pulled this incredible feat off of 22 movies combinating, and they paid all these things off, and it was well done. It was greatly acted. It had a beautiful, amazing score, a great score, and the thing is, I knew that the Oscars wasn't going to give them much. I knew that it was going to get Best Picture because the Oscars in a million years would never nominate an Avengers movie. I don't care if fucking Steven Spielberg directed it. It says Avengers, it's not getting a Best Picture nomination. But I thought that they would at least have enough respect to give them 1 or 2 for things that they should at least be in for. They should have been in there for best score with Portals, because I know that's the score they, put out. They should have won with that VFX. Nobody even cares about the VFX in the movie that won. I think it was 1917, but it's nobody was talking about the VFX in 1917. They're talking about the movie being great. Nobody cared about that part. And so it's I feel like Hollywood has resentment towards the MCU. Not comic book films. The MCU. And I think there's a line, by the way. There is kind of a line in the sand for me. Because there seems to be a line in the sand for most people between the comic book genre and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Because the Marvel Cinematic Universe seems to be the whooping boy. It seems to be the thing people point at because it's so popular, it's so big, EndGame sells so much that Marvel has just become this thing, and they're too big. They're too big. They're too intimidating. They're like this, they're like a fucking jock walking in a room full of nerds. That's the best description I could give you. They're too big, they're too intimidating, and Hollywood does not like it. They don't like that Marvel runs this show. They don't like that MCU runs this show. DC, other comic book movies, they have their place. Sometimes they make money, sometimes they don't. But they do not like that the Marvel Studios basically runs the fucking schedule. And it bothers the hell out of them. They do not consider Marvel Studios movies real movies. Martin Scorsese, James Cameron, and Steven Spielberg have spoken to that. Now, sure, some of them have pulled back on that, especially James Cameron, since he's under the Disney banner, has pulled back on that. But that's just how I feel. It's the reason I've always been so ride or die for Marvel, is because I've always felt that through all of what they've done and all the accomplishments, and like no one else has ever done this, by the way. I'm tired. I am sick and tired of hearing people like John Campea and other people talk like there's so many other fucking cinematic universes out there. What are people gonna do? They're gonna stop watching Marvel and go watch the CW all the fucking time? That's not even Marvel's level. Like, literally, that's not on Marvel's level. I saw people actually have the fucking nerve when fucking Crisis on Infinite Earth came out to go, well, Marvel can't do top that. Wait, top that? Bitch! They could take $1 billion off the EndGame and go buy this goddamn whole thing and top that. This ain't Hot Wheels, motherfucker. They already beat that. So it's just like, and the thing, like, that's it. It's Marvel and the CW. Those are the only actual cinematic universes. By the way, I've got in arguments with people this is for. A cinematic universe is a universe with multiple characters from multiple different stories and other franchises that exist in the same universe, cinematic universe, not characters who spin off from other movies. That's not a cinematic universe. That is a spin-off movie. Not characters who might be in this. Not what DC's doing, where they're rewriting their own fucking history, and some of these, they might not. You know, that's not a cinematic universe. A cinematic universe is these characters existed on their own, but they exist in the world with them, and sometimes they interact. That's a cinematic universe, baby. And there's only 2 of them. So I'm tired of hearing people talk about Marvel like there's some other people doing something different. And all I ever hear is people want Marvel to make movies like The Joker, Logan. I love Logan. I didn't hate The Joker. I actually like The Joker. That's my biggest problem with Hollywood. And the Academy Awards at the Oscars is, to me, the reason this is going to be something I haven't said. Everyone knows, I made a video not that long ago, Wolverine is my favorite superhero character. But I've honestly always felt like I wanted to love Logan more than I did. And I was so curious of why I couldn't love Logan like I wanted to love Logan. I remember walking out being like, this was the best Wolverine movie ever. You know, this is a 9 out of 10. And I remember giving it that. But I remember wondering why I couldn't love it like I wanted to. And the reason I can't love it like I wanted to is because Hollywood has kind of fucked with me a bit, because it has made me realize that the only movies that Hollywood will ever take seriously, that the Oscars and whatnot awards people will ever take truly seriously, are movies that are dark, are the comic book movies that are dark, depressing, and cynical. Dark, depressing. You gotta be dark, you gotta be depressing, you can't have any happiness. And that just made me feel bad. And that just made me go, so Marvel's being punished for embracing the funner side of the comic book movie, of the comic book world, for embracing what it's about, really. And yes, we have our darker comic books. Yes, we got the Punisher. We got like Ghost Rider. Yes, you got your Rorschachs from the Watchmen. But grand total, when you put it right in front of you, most of it is fun. Even the darker stuff, a lot of it is fun. And Marvel being punished for what? For making people happy? And that's what always bothered me, and why I couldn't truly love Logan like I wanted to, because it started to nag in the back of my skull. That I'm like, so that's what you have to do. So whenever I heard people say, Marvel, you guys should go do this, you guys should go do this, I'm like, fuck that. Marvel MCU, keep doing you. No, they didn't win an Oscars. Yes, they deserve to at least be nominated, I believe. EndGame is going to be the most talked about 2019 movie for years. Because there probably won't be another movie to make as much money as EndGame for quite a bit, unless it's Marvel who does it. So literally, it's going to be one of the most talked about movies for decades, and it didn't win anything. So, for me, Marvel, don't change. The MCU, I hope they never change. I hope they don't conform for what other people want them to do, for what these guys, or these critics and whatnot want them to make these Oscar baity movies like The Joker, or these hard R movies like this or that. Screw that. The irony is, Marvel are original. They're the only ones doing what they're doing, and yet people talk about them like somebody, like everybody does that. Everybody has cinematic universe. Everybody does cinematic universe. Everybody does that. Just do a one-off movie. Because everybody's not doing hard R one-off movies, apparently. I don't know. But I digress. I personally think the Academy disrespected Marvel. They've been disrespecting the MCU for a very long time. It's never gonna change unless Marvel decides to make some one-off brand hard R movie about some random character named make some random hard R movie about I don't know, Bruce Banner. You know, but he doesn't turn into the Hulk, and he's just depressed. He's a coked out addict sitting on the corner. And, you know, General Ross comes and kidnaps him, and kidnaps him, and something like that. That's the only way they're gonna ever win an Oscar, is if they make some dark ass movie like that. And that's my fear, is that they might get antsy, but I don't think they will. As long as the money's coming in, as long as they're still pumping out great movies, they'll never feel the need to conform to what Hollywood and what other critics want them to be. And they'll always be okay with me. So thank you guys for joining me in the Comic Game Movie Show. Please remember to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.